If you got here, it is not by chance. The guardian angels brought you here silently through the paths of time. There is something that needs to be heard, and today the universe chose to whisper in your heart. Do you feel it? It is the vibration of a message made for your moment. Nothing happens by chance, not even the moment when you clicked on this video. God prepared every word to remind you that there is a purpose in what appears to be silence. Before continuing, tell me, where are you watching from now? There is a presence that still vibrates within you. Even though time has passed, even though the gaze has diverted, there is something that has not faded. It is like a flame hidden under the veil of night. You cannot see it from afar, but you can feel it in your chest. This person still exists somewhere in your thoughts. They appear in small memories, an old song, an unexpected perfume, a phrase said by someone on the street. Suddenly the heart tightens, and the universe seems to play at sending signs. You feel this, don't you? As if time had stopped in a moment that never fully closed, as if there were a window between you, closed, but with slivers of light. A light that insists, that persists, that insists on illuminating what seemed forgotten. The guardian angels know how much you tried to move on. They saw you smile at the world, while inside, something still whispered the name you tried to avoid thinking about. They saw the nights when you talked to the sky, asking for answers, asking for peace, asking for the universe to show the meaning of so much silence. And maybe that's what is happening now. Maybe this message is the answer. Because silence, the same silence that hurt so many times, is not absence. It is a time of listening. God also speaks through what is not said. That person somewhere feels, even if they don't speak, even if they don't show it, there is something that vibrates between you. A connection that goes beyond what is visible, that is not measured by distance or time. It is a spiritual attunement, and the universe does not break what was woven with true love. But today what hovers is doubt. You feel a mixture of longing and distrust. You want to believe that something still lives, but you are also afraid to wait. And this is where the angels ask for calm. Breathe. Life does not move only when someone comes to you. It also moves when you understand that there are cycles, and that each distance is an invitation to heal. This person is in a silence that says a lot. There is a restless heart behind the absence, a shadow trying to understand its own reflection. Because it is not always a lack of feeling. Sometimes it is fear. Fear of looking inside and finding how much something still matters. The universe shows you this in small signs. When the wind blows and brings back memories you swore you had forgotten. When a dream repeats itself. When something inside you inexplicably calms down when you think of that connection. None of this is a coincidence. It is the subtle movement of the soul trying to tell you there is something being worked on in the invisible. God has not forgotten the promise made between two hearts that recognized each other, but He also knows that love needs to mature at the right time. And maybe now is the time to look at yourself, not as someone saying goodbye, but as someone preparing to understand, because understanding the silence of the other is often learning to listen to your own soul. Have you ever felt that, even from a distance, someone still thinks about you? Have you ever had the sensation that a thought of yours was heard somewhere else without words, without touch? The universe has mysterious ways of keeping souls connected. This person feels the echo of what you feel. When you think of them, there is an energetic call. Guardian angels accompany this movement, trying to align the timing of both hearts. But there is something to be healed before this bridge can be rebuilt. The loneliness you felt was not punishment. It was transformation. It was the time that God gave you to see yourself beyond the bond, to remember that true love does not depend on presence, but on truth. And the truth is that there is something beautiful inside, something that didn't die, that merely rested, a tenderness that survived the absence, a silent faith that love doesn't end. It just changes form until it can come back clean, mature, ready. The angels are watching you now with delicacy. They know how much your heart has cried without tears. They know how much you wanted to understand why this story stopped in the middle. And maybe it hasn't stopped. Maybe it's just being rewritten on another plane, at a time when both of you can meet again, not out of need, but out of truth. Look inside now. Do you see how there is still light, even after everything? That light that insists on existing is proof that love wasn't in vain. You were and are a point of awakening in this person's life, and they in yours. Both taught each other what it is to feel deeply, what it is to touch the invisible, what it is to believe in what cannot be seen. God uses encounters to reveal what needs to blossom within us. And if this story seems dormant, maybe it's because there is still something that needs to grow in the silence. Seeds do not sprout under a hurried gaze. They ask for darkness before light. The same is true of love. It sometimes needs to retreat into the shadows to learn to shine again. Do you feel it? A silent energy of a new beginning, something that is moving even if you do not see it yet. It is the universe realigning paths. It is this person's soul slowly trying to approach, fearing to face itself. And meanwhile, the angels ask you for patience. Because what is true is never lost. It just transforms until it's ready to return. Now it's time to look at what hurts. The silence, the absence, the indecision. All that, sometimes, makes you doubt the purpose of this connection. There are days when the heart asks itself, did all this really exist? And deep down something answers, yes, it existed, but something changed. The distance from this person was not punishment or forgetfulness. It was a reflection of something internal, a confused soul trying to understand its own path, afraid of feeling too much. There are people who love, but do not know how to sustain the love they feel. They carry old shadows, wounds that have not been healed, and project fear where there is feeling. And it is this that the guardian angels want to show you. The distance is not rejection, it's protection. The universe separates what is not yet ready, not to punish, but to prepare. This person is immersed in a silence that is both escape and search. Escape from the intensity of what they feel. Search for something that makes sense of what they do not understand. And you, on the other side, feel the weight of this pause. You feel the emptiness of unspoken words, the cold of an absence that seems inexplicable. But there is something that needs to be seen here. This silence speaks. It speaks of shadows that need to be illuminated, of fears that need to be dissolved, of hearts that are still learning to love without getting lost. Have you ever felt that someone walked away out of fear and not for lack of love? Maybe that's exactly it. Love scared them. The intensity awakened dormant ghosts. And, in the face of this, the instinct was to run away, when in fact, the desire was to stay. The angels show that there is an internal war happening, between what this person feels and what they fear, between what the heart asks and what the ego tries to control. And in this silent battle, absence becomes the only possible shield. But what the universe now reveals is that this absence is losing strength. The energy of regret begins to emerge. A spiritual awakening is approaching, that moment when the soul realizes that it ran away from itself. This person thinks, feels, remembers, and in the hours when the world sleeps, her heart silently screams your name. A soundless scream but full of truth. God hears that scream, and He works behind the scenes of life so that what is true returns in peace. But before the return, there is healing. Before the words, there is repentance. Before the reunion, there is silence. The same silence that hurts today is the space where God is rebuilding what needs to last. You, perhaps without noticing, are also being prepared. This distance made you look inward, made you grow, made you find strength where there was only need before. And that is not a small thing. It is the birth of a new consciousness. The consciousness that love is not waiting, it is faith. Faith in God, faith in time, faith in what the heart recognizes as true. The shadows of this story are not the end. They are just the path through which the light will learn to pass. Each tear that fell was a silent prayer. Each night of longing was a request for healing that was slowly answered. And even though the return still seems distant, the angels say, there is movement. This person is being guided. There are dreams, memories, constant signs. The energy between you still pulses. It just changed its rhythm. You need to trust this rhythm, not with anxiety, but with serenity, because the love that is soul does not need to be pushed. It naturally finds its way when the heart opens at the right time. God is acting. The universe is preparing the encounter that will not be by chance. And when that happens, the silence that hurts today will be just a memory of a time of learning. But for now, it's time to listen. Listen to what the silence wants to tell you. Listen to what the heart still fears. Listen to what the angels whisper in the quietest hours of the night. They say, do not lose faith. There is something beautiful being stitched in the invisible. What is true returns, and it returns when love has already learned to be light, not need. Now breathe, Feel the energy of the universe around you. Notice that there is no total absence. There is only a sacred interval. And in this interval, everything that needs to align aligns. You are not alone. God is with you. The angels are with you. And even without words, that person can feel it too. Destiny still holds a chapter between you two, and the next step is closer than it seems. But that, the universe will reveal to you in the next part. Take a deep breath. Feel the air coming in, slowly going out. There is something different in the air. The invisible is moving. The guardian angels draw near. They bring a new light energy full of silent promises. They whisper, "Nothing is lost, it has just matured." God heard what your heart never said. He heard your tiredness. He heard your silent faith. And he responded, not with words, but with signs. The universe begins to align what seemed disconnected. Coincidences arise, repeated names, vivid dreams, unexpected messages, all pointing to the same place. Something is coming back on your path. That person feels it, more than they show, more than they admit. They feel the echo of your energy crossing time. When they try to move on, something pulls them back. It's the invisible bond, the thread of light between two souls that even apart still vibrate at the same frequency. This connection is not a prison. It's a lesson. God unites stories when there is still something to be revealed. What seemed like the end was a pause, a necessary pause to understand what is love and what is fear. Now the fear begins to dissolve. The silence no longer fits. There is a desire to open up, to recognize what was stuck in time. The universe whispers, there is still someone waiting for you on the plane of faith. And that is why you feel this vibration in your chest, this premonition of a new beginning. It is energy in motion. The angels clear fears, dissolve pride, open paths. God prepares the moment of the reunion, the instant when hearts will look at each other without masks. When that happens, everything will make sense. The pain will show its purpose. Silence will reveal faith. Distance will be remembered as the space of healing. True love needs to mature before it can bloom. Have you noticed how the universe returns what is yours in unexpected ways? It's not chance, it's destiny. This person feels a calling, an inexplicable longing, a desire to see, to understand what the heart still holds. And you are also being prepared for this, stronger, more aware, more at peace. Nothing was in vain. The tears washed your soul. The weight strengthened your faith. And now the universe turns pain into purpose, because the love that is born after pain is what carries the most light. And this light is approaching. Do you feel this warmth in your chest? This urge to believe again? That is presence. Divine presence telling you it's still worth it. The shadows dissipate. Fear is silenced. Silence begins to speak. And you? Do you believe that silence also speaks? No distance is eternal. No silence is empty. Everything that is true finds its way back. The universe is made of cycles, and a new one begins now. Cycle of healing, reunions, and revelations. What was shadow turned into learning? What was pain turned into strength? What seemed like an end, in fact, was a new beginning. God never forgot you. He was preparing you, because there are loves that don't fade. They transform. This person also awakens, misses your energy, your calm, your way of seeing the invisible. There is something in you that echoes within them. The love between you does not need explanation. It lives in the subtext, in the signs, in the equal hours, in the repeated dreams. God speaks through these subtleties. So do the angels. They don't shout, they whisper. And if you become silent, you will hear. The time now is for reconciliation with destiny, to accept what was and to open space for what is yet to come. You did not lose. You grew. And what is true returns differently, more mature, lighter, more aware. The universe is returning your faith. God rekindles your inner light. And when this light shines, everything responds. That person will feel it, will perceive your peace. And that peace will be the magnet of reconnection, because love flourishes where there is serenity. And you are serenity now. Distance has taught. Silence has revealed. Waiting has matured. And what comes clean. God sews the invisible threads of your destiny with patience. And the angels smile because they know what is truly yours is never lost. It just transforms until it is ready to return. The sky watches you tenderly. There is gratitude in God's gaze because you believed even when hurt. And that faith kept the light on. Now it is time to harvest, time to feel the breeze of new beginnings, time to understand that love never left, it just waited for the moment to blossom. The angels accompany you, the universe envelops you, and God prepares the reunion. When the gaze meets again, it will not be by chance. It will be an answer. It will be a miracle. Keep this certainty. No shadow can erase what was born of light. No distance is too great for God's plans. Now, let your heart breathe. Feel the energy of this message echoing within you. It came because it was yours, because the universe wanted to remind you that nothing is lost. The angels knew your heart needed to hear this. And if this message brought peace, it is a sign that it found a home within you. Tell me in the comments, which word spoke to you the most today? Love? Silence? Hope? Light? Write it here, because when you share, the universe listens. And if you believe that silence also speaks, leave A in the comments to spread this energy. Each like, each word, is a seed of light that can reach those who need comfort now. If this message touched your heart, leave your like. It helps the channel and strengthens our chain of faith. Share with someone you feel needs to hear this message. It may be the sign this person has been waiting for. And if you wish to continue receiving messages like this, subscribe and activate the bell. The angels have much more to tell you, and the right time is coming. Remember, nothing is at a standstill. Everything is being prepared. God knows every detail of your wait, and the universe is working silently in your favor. Before you leave, write in the comments one word that sums up what you felt. Let the universe respond to you in the coming days, in dreams, signs, encounters. Because when the heart speaks with faith, the universe always listens. Thank you for being here. May God bless you, protect you, and guide you. And may the next message arrive at the right moment. When your heart is ready for the next step in this story, that destiny is still writing. With love, the guardian of the word.